Well, they've always run by committee anyway. They have three backs. It's kind of a three-headed monster, and then you throw the quarterback in there too. That he's like as far as number of carries, their quarterback is their second leading rusher as far as carries go. But the 29 is a dynamic back. He's explosive, a guy that anytime he touches the ball, he has a chance to take it. 23 and 25. The 23 is the guy that's replacing 25. I mean, they're two peas in a pod. I mean, they are, they're both 5'9", 215, 220 pounds. They run north-south, physical, break tackles. So they're going to still do what they do, and they're still dynamic at that position. I mean, they've led the country the last couple of years in not giving up minus yardage plays, very efficient offense, and I don't see them changing any with this injury. I mean, obviously, he was their leading ball carrier, but like I said, they did it by committee. It was always 25, 29, 23. Those three guys were in there working hard and playing a significant amount of plays. Well, I think experience more than anything, and being consistent. And also it's about playing the one position. Tim plays really the one side, and Ricky could play both sides, and Woody could play both sides, and that's kind of part of it too. But it's a combination of things. But Tim's going to continue. He's continuing to develop and play, but Ricky's been outstanding this fall, and I feel really, really good about how he's played and where he's come as far as his experience and playmaking ability and that type of thing has been very productive for us. Well, you see a guy that gets better and better every week. And, he's 6'5", he's 210, 215, and you don't laugh, but he reminds me a lot of a young Peyton Manning, just all of his body mannerisms, and maybe that's the mechanics that Dave, teaches there, but he's big like Peyton. He's got the same kind of footwork and movement. He probably runs maybe a little bit better. But I see a guy that can spin it really well. I see a guy that each week you see feels a little bit more comfortable, within the offense and where he wants to dish the football. And he's got a good core of people around him. They graduated some good players last year on the perimeter, but that's the one thing Duke's done the last several years is recruited some really good quality skill kids. They remind me a lot of us in some ways from a standpoint that they'll take what you give them, or if you tip something, they'll have a counter to that. I mean, we've got to really be good in our disguises. We've got to really be good and sound fundamentally, and it goes back to, how good these guys are and what they do. Those guys, I think, have been playing very well for us and very solid, and we're going to be challenged again this week, and that's just the nature of today's game. I thought after evaluating us last week, I thought our corners played really well. I thought we didn't do some things, gap fit wise, that we could have been better in the run game. That I think we could have been a lot better there. And then the one play they hit on us down the middle, we were in man coverage, and Chuck thought it was going to be a naked and kind of cheated outside, and the guy stuck him and came inside. So at least he was anticipating, which I liked, because that was the indicator prior to going into the game, prior to that. So he was playing anticipating football, which it makes sense. But they did a nice job, countering off of that thing. So, but all in all, we've got to get back to where, in my opinion, that we've got to, last week wasn't how we played extremely hard, and we played hard for 60 minutes and we competed, but we could be better as far as technique and fundamentals, and that's where our emphasis has been so far these first couple of days this week. That does take a little stress off of us when you have a team, particularly if you can get ahead and they've got to play catch up. That changes my play calling and that type of my outlook sometimes on things, where the game is in the time of the game and the situations and that type of thing. It may free me up a little bit more, where in the past you were really kind of tight and you were concerned about maybe pressuring because you didn't want to give up anything, and now you can maybe we can pin our ears back a little bit more at times. And today's game, there's going to be, for us to go out there and put a goose eggs on people, I don't know if we can realistically say we want to do that every week, but what's reality, and but all we're asking for is we just go out and play every play and execute every play and compete, to the 100% of our abilities every play. And if we get that, then, we can live with, the result. And if we get that, though, the result in the end of it will be, we'll be on the positive side more than we'll be on the negative side when it's all said and done.